Hi there, guys. So this is the helper video on my YouTube channel for how to do the Embedded Assessment 2 for Unit 1, which is Synthesizing the American Dream. See? Synthesizing the American Dream, which is U1EA2, which stands for Unit 1 Embedded Assessment 2. It's on page 87. Okay. So the very first thing that you need to do, make sure you have a writing utensil, make sure you have your book, make sure that you have any of the writings that you've done in preparation for this unit. That would include anything that you've written about the American Dream, whether it still exists, the survey on page 54, which has to do with the statements that you either agreed or disagreed with relating to what it takes to actually make the American Dream happen. So I'll pause while you gather all that. Okay, you ready? Good. Make sure your computer's plugged in because this is going to take a while, probably. So what you need to do is you need to have any and all annotations and writings that you've done relating to the American Dream, who it exists for, who it's hard for them to reach it. I'm sorry that sounded clunky, but whatever. And gather that all around you, be that electronically or print it out so that it's in front of you. Put it on stickies if you need to so that it can float kind of near where you're composing. Because right now we're just in the composing part. We're not really going to be thinking too much about the finished part. That'll be a separate video, okay? Good. So the question is, and this is the essential question, and this is on my website. If you search for U1EA2 in the search this site box, you'll come up with U1EA2 resources, and you should use that. Okay, I put a lot of work into it, just so that you can have the benefit of it. And I'll be linking this video from there. Okay, does America still provide access to the American Dream? So before you can start this assessment, you really need to stop and think and be like, okay, number one, critical thinking train. What's America? Are we talking about the United States of America? And the answer is yes. We're not talking about North America. So that's number one. Provide access. What's that mean? You better clear that up before you can start answering this question. And if you are having a hard time with that, what I always do is I go to a dictionary and I look at the definition of provide, nail that down, definition of access, nail that down, make sure I understand that before I move on to the next stop on the critical thinking train, the American Dream. And so if you don't have a teach it to an 8-year-old understanding of the American Dream, not going to go well. So you definitely should, if that describes you, like you literally do not know what the American Dream is, well enough to describe it to an 8-year-old, hit pause, go figure that out. Because all of this will be irrelevant for you if you don't, okay? All right, next. So then you know that this is a synthesis essay, which means synthesis. You're taking the ideas and you're bringing them together. Thesis, idea. So you need to do, first I thought, while I was reading I thought, now I think. Okay, and I have a cheat sheet for that you can get from me. Okay, I can't link it on the site because it's not mine. The other thing is that you have to have the argument elements, and there are 5 argument elements. So why don't you hit pause, see if you can write them down. I'm back. Okay, so I hope you had claim, which is another word for thesis, support, which is any kind of support, including the specialized one that we talked about, anecdote, but you may only have one of those in this essay. Then comes counterclaim, also known as a concession, which is a 180-degree turn from your claim. And it starts with things like, on the other hand, however, some may argue that. Okay? And then after the counterclaim, then you have a refutation, which I call smack down. You're smacking that concession down. You're taking all of the supports out from underneath it and invalidating them. Okay? That's what a good arguer does. Lastly, call to action. Hello, action. Okay? Because if there's something that you care strongly enough about to argue it, you want other people to agree with you and then go do something about it, right? Okay. So that's what you need to do in the pre-writing phase of this. This is actually even pre-writing. This is like, do I have any clue what this is about? All right, I'm going to stop there for this part. I think I'm going to end up doing this in 3 parts. So I'm calling this the Understanding the Assignment video, okay, and organizing one's thoughts.